Hello, this is Quisha, Tanya, Cynthia, and Abby.
Hello.
We're back again with another video of weekly updates, or I don't know, we do them like twice a week updates and discussions, therapeutic conversations of current events, things that are going on in our nation now, in our communities, in our homes, in our hearts, in our minds. Today we are going to be discussing. I think Cynthia had a topic she wanted to discuss that was near and dear to her heart. Go ahead, Cynthia, take it away. You lead the conversation.
Okay, so I was looking at the news today. The officer that shot Rashad. Um, well, at first he had just got fired, and I was thinking that's the only thing that was going to happen, is he was just going to get fired, and that's it. And so today I learned that not only did he get fired, he's going to be charged with felony murder. And if he is convicted, he will get the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Kamgenze, how do you feel about the possibility of him getting the death penalty and the fact that he actually pretty quickly got charged with felony murder?
What took so long?
No, that happened pretty quickly.
It happened pretty quickly. It didn't really take that long, but how do you feel? Do you think that how quickly they move? Like, normally it takes a long time for the police to even get fired. It takes a long time for them, if they ever get charged, to get charged. So how do you feel, and what do you think was the catalyst for them moving so quickly in firing the police officer and charging them with actual felony murder? Not manslaughter, not third degree, not second degree, any of that, but felony murder.
No, like that's like what I mean. Like, what took so long? Like, why did it take all of this to happen for this to happen quickly? Do you know what I mean?
I think because of
Yeah,
what we see right
I
now.
get it now.
Yeah.
I was thinking that I did they do that to appease the people that's doing the protesting? That's what I'm thinking.
I think that was the
I
catalyst for
think
it.
that. I
Yeah.
think so.
And they
Like,
using him as a. I mean, even though he was wrong and everything, they using him as an example.
well, sometimes you got to have an example to get your point across.
Right.
Well, hopefully the person who killed George Floyd, he will also, they will move speedily when it comes to him.
Yeah, because you know what? I feel like the protesters in Atlanta, they moved so quick. They burned up the Wendy's, and they like protested. They had peaceful protests so quickly after this incident happened that they put the pressure on. And then the national protests that were already going on. Like I felt like maybe the city, whoever felt the pressure of the people and just had to move quickly and rightfully
Mm-hmm.
that you should be charged with felony murder.
Didn't the mayor or somebody step down too in Atlanta? Was that the mayor? Well, somebody stepped down.
Yeah,
I
somebody.
don't know. There is a black lady is the mayor.
It wasn't.
I know somebody stepped down after that shooting.
Oh, it may have been a police chief or something. I don't know who. I haven't
You know
heard
what?
of
I
it.
think that was the police chief. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. That was. I wonder why they stepped down though.
Because when something happens and you're the head of something, it comes back on you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the former Atlanta police chief that walked with protesters to demand change. She resigned after an officer fatally shot a black man. She resigned.
Maybe she was tired of being a part of that organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, that yeah.
You could be in an organization trying to be the change that you want to see, and then just get worn out because it's taking so long for any little bit of change to happen. You can get tired of seeing this every day, and we don't know what her day to day is like in the police station. She may be getting harassed. She may be seeing racism towards herself. She may be seeing discrimination towards herself as a woman and a black woman at that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I agree.
I I feel happy and relieved that he was charged and that he was rightfully charged and not given like a low ball kind of
Or
charge.
slap on the hand.
Now I just want to see, is it going to be carried through to the end? Not just a charge, but like an actual conviction and then a sentencing and all that stuff. How do you guys feel about the death penalty? Because that could be one of his, outcomes.
Well, I was wondering, is the death penalty going to be for both officers or just one?
I think it will only be for one because the other officer didn't really do much. Like he tried to subdue him. Like from the video, if I'm remembering correctly, like the second officer tried to subdue him, tried to get him down and contained. But he didn't pull his gun. I seen him with a taser. I ain't seen him with a gun or any of that. So I don't know. And it wasn't like he held him down and let the other officer shoot him like in the George Floyd case where all the officers were actually like involved with holding him down. And then the one officer that was just standing there was actually watching it. I think the difference between that is George Floyd took 8 minutes into almost 9 minutes to be slowly murdered on the ground in police custody. And this Rayshard Brooks, it was like a instant. Like it wasn't like the other officer was standing by letting this officer do something. He pulled his weapon and shot him really quickly while the other officer wasn't even by him. He was kind of away from him.
Right. Because I don't think, him falling asleep in his car should be a loss of life. I don't think it should have escalated to that point. Because they could have, and even before it got to that point, they want to put handcuffs on him. They could have asked him, do you have someone to pick you up? Mm-hmm. As simple as that. Why are you putting handcuffs on him?
I believe it could have went a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and then if he's running, let him go where he's going. He got to come back and get his car and everything. And then it just shouldn't have led to him getting shot in the back twice. And then they was picking up their bullet shells before they even called paramedics. They probably could have saved his life.
Why do you think they were picking up the bullet shells?
That's what they were saying on the news. They spent over 2 minutes picking up their bullet shells.
Probably trying to cover up some of the tracks, exactly how it had a scene played out.
And they weren't supposed to do that.
Because I guess depending on what the bullet was at, they could probably try to, I don't know.
Well, they shouldn't have been spending minutes doing that. They could have called the paramedics. They could have saved his life. Yeah,
I'm confused by that train of events. Like you have a body cam that clearly shows what happened. Where they may not have known Wendy's, security camera was recording or whatever. And then just the bullet wounds and holes were in his back. So no matter what, he got shot while he wasn't facing you.
Yeah.
Right.
He shot him in the back. So that train of events confused me. Like, why are you picking up bullet shells? I don't know.
Right, because the one that did the autopsy said that it was they ruled it as a homicide murder.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. Yeah. So you just gotta wait now to see how it plays out in the judicial system, and we pray and hope that it justice, some sort of justice, because we want to say justice is served, but technically justice is never served because this person has lost their life, and what can bring that back? What can soothe a child who lost their father for no reason? What can soothe, a mother or any of that? Who can really what can really justify that? What can really bring you justice? So hopefully he gets his, what's due to him in the judicial system.
Right. So now another father unarmed shot, because that weapon he had was not considered a lethal weapon. That would, really, if he's running during he as he was running, he I guess he shot the taser, but he was running. So it wasn't even going to really make connection with the with the cops that was chasing him. And it's just unfortunate because now 3 kids have to be raised without a father. And then now the wife lost her husband. And she's going to be a single parent raising 3 kids.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. So I don't really want to switch gears per se, but I want to ask a question. And not exactly how it's affecting Rashad Brooks and his family, but how do you think, like, we're students? How do you personally feel like all the stuff that is going on in our nation is affecting students around the nation? Like, because at the end of the day, you are going through these mental traumas, these emotional traumas, having these difficult conversations with people. Some people are having difficult conversations with people they love that they don't know have a certain view, hold a certain viewpoint, racism and all that stuff. And then on top of that, you still have to be a student. Like, you still have to do work. You still have to show up to classes, whether virtually or whatever you're doing. You still have to maintain this GPA, and especially people that have scholarships that are based on grade point average.
Yes.
Like, my mind is so boggled to, like, and all over the place about how is it affecting these people. And I know for me as a student, it's affecting me. Like, it's hard. It's really hard for me to focus on my work. It's hard for me to write papers about, I don't know, psychological terms and faith and all this stuff when the world around me seems to be like crumbling everywhere. It's hard for me to think about this certain research or whatever when in life things are happening that are just traumatizing to me. How do you, well, you guys can tell me your personal experience, and then how do you think others in the nation are dealing with it?
Well, I think I agree with what you were saying. It's very stressful because I've been feeling kind of more emotionally than what I would normally feel. And then when I listen to certain songs, I think that emotion really comes out. I don't realize how emotional I was feeling until I would listen to certain songs. And it's just difficult to just keep that momentum up, to stay motivated, just to do everything that you have to take care of. It's difficult. And I just been feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. Not only do the students have to maintain, the grade point average, going to school and things like that, and turning in assignments, some of them are working a full-time job in addition, taking care of family. And that's just, it's too much.
And some of them are protesting. Some of them are out there protesting the injustice of the world, because they're going to be some of them, they're already adults, some of them, but they're going to be out in their world soon and not in the safety of a college environment or whatever. And they want to see a change.
Right. And then you think about, it's so many millions, there's over 10 million people unemployed. So these people are able to be out here protesting because they don't even have a job. They don't even know where they're going to get their next meal. I know somebody who's still trying to get their unemployment and has not been able to get their unemployment. So these are really trying times. And it just seems like the people that's over the programs, the school program, they're not taking none of this into consideration. It's like business as usual. That's how they see it.
Because to them it is. I think to some people it is a business. It's about making the money. It's about kids coming to school. If you don't come to school, then how can I get paid? If no one comes to school, how can the teachers get paid? How can the staff get paid? It is, I think it is business first. And then like just overall class, I'm taking education and psychology. Okay, right now we're dealing with all the protests, all the racism. Now I'm reading about in the book about the educational school system, how that is racist is in the school system. So that the pressure of me hearing this on the news about what's going on, people dying, and then be reading this about in education psychology, racism in the school system. Now it's putting me on every angle. I'm being like just all in my head, it's all in my ears. I find myself like being angry, being upset, emotional, just like sometimes like I feel like I'm depressed, but it's like it's a lot because you're hearing about it, you're seeing what's going on, you're experiencing it, your loved ones are going through it, and then you're sitting here doing an education psychology class that talks about racism in the schools.
Right, and
That's
you
more,
feeling bombarded by it all.
and it's never ending. It's like it's everywhere around me.
Right, because I was literally in tears yesterday.
It's too
I
much.
was just feeling all kind of emotions yesterday.
It,
I just got so overwhelmed with everything.
it's like it's overwhelming. And it's like, how dare you? How dare you guys like make us out to be something we're not? How dare you basically put us in a like you putting us in like we did something wrong to you guys? How dare you? And the more you people trying to defend themselves is like people study like stepping on them, holding them down, trying to hold them down, killing our people.
And did you all hear about the two people that was found hanging from a tree?
I didn't hear about that.
And they started that nonsense again. That's just ridiculous. And I don't know if it was cops that did it, or if it was just KKK or white supremacists or who did it, but somebody hung them. They hung a black male and a black female.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not a stranger to trauma, so I handle it. I don't want to say like better, but I don't handle it the same way other people do. Um, and like I've been actively seeking therapy for like 2 years now. So, and I still do it like at least once a month, like therapy. So I can still like talk about these things as they're going on.
Mm.
But like as far as like everything that's going on collectively, I'm like excited about it. And I don't want that to sound like bad, but like I'm happy people are finally doing something about injustices that are happening and like taking that stand because that's exactly what this country was built on was taking a stand. So in that aspect, I'm like happy and excited about it. But at the same time, like I'm also seeking to like nurture my own mental health because I know what trauma's like. I've seen it and it's horrible. And I can guarantee you that a lot of people are going to be traumatized by this. So like I encourage people who are experiencing trauma and struggling to like deal with it to seek out that mental health therapy or whatever they need because it is important and it does help.
And you know what else pisses me off? That Trump had an executive order that he signed, which he never really addressed the racism that's going on in this country. And then a lot of states putting a ban on chokeholds. He gonna say, well, they can use the chokehold if their life is in danger. They use that every day. I feared for my life.
Yeah.
That's why Quan McDonald got shot 16 times and he was way over there. Got shot 16 times because he feared for his life when he had a little tiny little bitty knife that couldn't hurt a fly. I'm just sick of it. I mean, what was the point of him talking to all these black families that has experienced someone someone being murdered by the cops. It was like a slap in the face what he did to them. He didn't address anything.
He only did it for the publicity. I'm telling you right now. He only
Yes,
did it because a lot of people are mad, and he only did it for the publicity. He had no real personal interest in doing it, but he did it for his own publicity.
Yeah,
right.
not because he has compassion, not because he has like any type of feelings at all. He want to
Oh,
make
you can
he want
tell.
to make himself look good. He want to puff himself up
Yeah,
for his votes, for his campaign.
It's sad.
it is.
He's the worst he's the worst president I've seen in my lifetime.
Well, he not even human. I don't know what he is.
You know what someone said the other day is why not just let him ride out the rest of his term? Why not just let him go another 4 years? What difference will it make? And I wanted to throw something at that person.
Well, wait, who said
Oh
that?
no!
There was a client here the last week, I think, who said that.
Oh
Why
wow,
not let him for another 4 years?
honey, can you imagine what would happen in another 4 years?
There's already enough damage he's done now.
He will turn the world really upside down in another 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that when people make statements like that, whether like in person or like on social media, do you guys feel like inclined to say something, or like if you don't say something, like you're not?
Oh, you know, I feel inclined. And I did say something. I was like, are you serious right now? What are you on? Because he's already done so much damage now.
Yeah, that's a Trump.
And I feel like I have to say something too, even though I can't be out there protesting. I can protest on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Like when my friend, I disagreed with what a friend of mine was saying, and then I had to call him on it. No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Just
I saw on your Facebook where you tagged him in like 2 or 3 videos.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw. I feel really strongly to say something a lot, and then I have to sometimes stop myself because you can just go and go and go with these people, and they'll go and go and go with you, and then it's like sometimes it's never ending. So I have to learn where my like stop point is. I'll say something, I'll make my point, but I don't want to argue with people
Right.
so what
over
you're
social
saying is
media
people,
or in person. I say what I have to say, and sometimes people will see your point and sometimes they won't. Sometimes people don't want to see the point. So they just want to argue. So I think it's just all about picking and choosing your battles, because there's all different kind of ways to protest. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be out walking in the street. Just like you said, you protest on your Facebook page. You could protest by boycotting certain things. Like I've seen so many people who have had racist comments or comments against the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that, who have small businesses whose businesses have just been financially demolished because people have just been taking their money away and not giving business. Like for instance, like a NASCAR design person.
Uh-huh.
okay.
He said something about the Confederate flag and about the Black Lives Matter, and basically he felt like he had a good clientele group in NASCAR and that he could say what he wanted, like, oh, it's not going to take money out his pocket. And then immediately the people he had contracts with just start pulling out in NASCAR. Drivers start saying, no, we've terminated our relationship with, I forgot his names. It was something designs. We've terminated this relationship. We've ended our contract with this person. And I think he just shut down his Facebook page and just kind of went. Then he tried to issue a statement of apology, and it's like, no, it's too late. That's how you really feel.
Right.
You're apologizing because all these people are publicly denouncing you and saying, I'm cutting ties with this company. I'm cutting ties with this relationship. And now you're saying, oh, I'm sorry, because you see your bank account dwindling down.
Yeah, they was basically letting them know that they was ashamed of him.
Yeah, and that they weren't going to support
They weren't
his
supporting it.
non-support
Yeah.
of, justice for Black people and the Black Lives Matter movement. So now it's like a state of, there was another lady who had like a company in some small, I don't even know what, Montana, something like that. And she has like an installation company where they put installation in your home. And her and I don't know if it was her husband, but someone else, another gentleman, he had on a shirt that said, "I can't breathe." They were white. And they were reenacting the George Floyd murder and laughing at it. Yeah, it was on
Wait a
Facebook.
minute, they was reenacting it.
Yeah, she had her knee down on him, and she was holding his arm back, and they were laughing at it. And his shirt said, "I can't breathe." And they posted it, and people just, went at her like, "You think this is funny that someone lost their life and you're on here reenacting it?" And they just reposted her business like, "Don't give her any money, don't share." And she just shut down all her social media, shut down her business. She went on there like crying, saying like her business is losing money and this and that. And it's like, you're crying about your business losing money, but you were laughing about a man losing his life.
Yeah.
Right.
What does that say about you as a person?
So she got just what she deserved.
Yeah, she did.
And I want to ask her, how does she like herself now?
I'm pretty sure she's still okay with herself. She's just not okay with losing her business.
That's what she needed. Hit him in the pockets, honey. Hit him where it hurts. Right in their pockets.
Right.
It's just so insensitive, and so it just shines light on a type of people that are here. Like, you would like to think that everybody you meet is kind and, loving, has respect for you, but it's just not the truth.
When they look at you, some people, when they look at you, all they see, they don't see a human being. They don't, all they see is the color of your skin.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do to try to prove yourself. It doesn't matter.
Right.
People gonna think what they think and feel how they feel. Doesn't matter what you do.
Right.
And
how many degrees you have.
That comes with like a cycle of like reproduction. Like, no matter what you do, if someone sees you in a certain light because of your skin color, they're going to see you in that light. And then in order for you to protect yourself, you just walk around, maybe not talking, maybe just having like a straight face. And then they see you as a threat. Oh, this person is not a friendly person. This is one of, like, and you're just trying to protect yourself and your energy and not come off threatening to people. And then that comes off threatening. And then if you come off and you're talking to people, then they're like, oh. So it's like a catch-22, and it's like a cycle.
You can't win for losing.
Yeah, so what do you do in that climate?
Just do you and be you.
That's all you can do, and just
move around.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
And then it also puts other races, white people who are not like that, also in the same type of predicament, because you're on guard as a Black person, and they may be trying to extend their hand, as an ally, and you're like, I don't really know.
Yeah, you're not sure. You're not sure. You're not really feeling it anymore because of what you've been through.
And then it makes it hard to break that barrier in between two people who are good citizens, good people, good human beings, but both have,
wounds,
guards up, or worries about each other that are not based on anything that they've done to each other, but based on what society has fed you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of work to do, in setting the world straight.
Yeah, because sometimes you wanna be very open, but then sometimes being open is not the best thing. Sometimes you have to guard your heart, because if you're too open, people hurt you.
Yeah, but we also have to be open to invite in change.
Yeah.
If we're guarded and closed on both sides, nothing's gonna change. So we have to learn how to be vulnerable, how to be open with each other, how to communicate.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best thing I've ever done growing up in a predominantly white area is just ask questions. Like, why do you do that? Why do you think this? Why do you, like, I think people are afraid to ask questions because they don't want to be one, they don't want to be embarrassed because they feel like they don't know something, and two, they don't want to be insensitive to people. But I feel like if you don't know something, the best thing to do, or if you're inquisitive about something, legitimately, not being obnoxious, but you're legitimately inquisitive about something, I think the best thing to do is ask a person who you feel has the knowledge to give you the answer you need.
Mm-hmm.
And those are ways that we can begin to facilitate change in our communities.
Yeah.
So we've reached our time, y'all.
Yes.
So we just want to thank you guys for watching again. We hope we gave you some insight. Hope our conversations help you have conversations, difficult conversations with people in your life. Ask questions when you need answers. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Right.